Alrighty, fourth graders, now on to the next step of our Minecraft selfies. Today we are going to be making the grid for our final project. So all you need is a piece of paper that is the same amount of inches as the squares that you made in your practice. So mine was 8 by 10, so I have an 8" by 10" piece of paper. So then all I'm going to do is take my paper, line up my ruler, and a lot of my fourth graders said that they have not done much with a ruler this year. So if this is kind of more of a challenge for you, then I'm excited to be teaching you guys something new and something that you guys can practice and get better and better at. Okay, so you want to make sure that the end of your ruler is on the 8 or whatever length your paper is, or width, I guess, and then the other end should be on the 0. So this is my 0. Then you're just going to make a mark at every inch. So the 1 is the 1 inch, but it's actually the long line that is the inch mark. So that's where you need to make your mark. Same with the 2. It's that long line is actually where the inch mark is. So make sure you guys just go all the way down. You don't have to make a mark at the 8 because that's the edge of your paper, right? So then you're going to do the same thing at the bottom of your paper. Make sure the 8 is at the edge, the other end is at the 0, and then make a mark every inch. Make sure you guys are using the right part of your ruler and marking it at that inch mark. Okay, so then you're going to do the same thing on the other 2 sides, on the long sides. Like I said, mine is 10 inches, and so I am going to be making a mark every inch all the way to the edge of my paper. This is a step that you don't really want to rush. You want to make sure that you go slow and careful when you're setting up your grid, because this is what's going to make sure, this is what's going to make sure that everything lines up and that your squares are nice and even. So then I'm going to just do it one more time on the other long side. Rotate my paper here so it's not hanging off the edge, so you guys can still see. I'm going to make a mark at every inch. And then, as you guys can guess, we are just going to make our grid. So using the straight edge of your ruler, you're going to connect the top one over here with the top one over here. So you want to make sure that it's lined up. I had some students who just would line it up on one side and then forgot to line it up on the other side, and then their lines were all over the place. So the reason we made these marks on both sides of our paper is so that they will line up. So you want to make sure you line it up on the left, on the right, nice and even. Hold your ruler tight, and then draw your line across. Okay? Then you're going to slide down to the next one and just keep going. So you're going to keep doing that until you get all the way down to the bottom. Then you are going to switch and do it with the long side. So the exact same thing, right? You're going to take the top one over here with the top one over here, line them up on the left side and the right side. Hold your ruler down hard and draw your line across. And you're going to keep going until your whole paper looks like a grid. Okay? So that is going to probably take you a little bit to get correct. Do it in pencil. If you make a mistake, flip it over, try again, grab another piece of paper. Computer paper works fine for this. It doesn't have to be anything special. If you have construction paper and you want to use that because it's a little thicker, that is okay too. But this will get you all ready for next week. So by the end of this week, you should have your plan made and you should have your grid made. Okay, so the next week we can start cutting out our squares and assembling them on here. Okay, so over the next week, start gathering up some colored paper, maybe start ripping stuff out of magazines. That works too. And I will see you back here next week.